Hello and welcome to Read with Pride, a podcast focused on LGBTQIA+ literature brought to you by the Ocean County Library's Ocean Pride Committee.
Hi, I'm Diane, pronouns she, her.
Hi, I'm Kaitlin. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them.
And I'm Amy. My pronouns are she, her, and we're all on the Ocean Pride Committee for the Ocean County Library.
Yes.
All right, so today we are discussing By Way of Sorrow by Robyn Gigl. Robyn Gigl is an author, advocate, and attorney. By Way of Sorrow by Robyn Gigl is a legal thriller that explores themes of justice, identity, and the power of compassion. The book follows defense attorney Erin McCabe as she represents Sharice Barnes, a young transgender woman accused of murder.
Yes, and so some exciting news for anyone in the area. If you would be interested in meeting Robyn, she is actually going to be coming to the Ocean County Library's second annual LGBTQIA+ Resource Fair in October. It is going to be Saturday, October 18th. The fair runs with information from vendors from about 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then Robyn is going to be closing out the fair at 2 by giving an author talk. So if you want to meet her, grab some of her books, certainly swing by at the Toms River branch of the Ocean County Library.
I can't wait to meet her. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
I've had people, because I've been, of course, talking about the books as I've been reading them. Sure. I'm halfway through book 3 at this point, and I've had coworkers say, "Oh, well, if I can't go, can you pick me up one of the books? Could you get it signed?"
Yes.
So like people are getting really excited about her coming.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I am just starting book 3. So this is a 4-book series right now, but it seems like she's, we have all the books in our collection, so that's exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Sure.
So how much did you know about the book before picking it up?
Not a ton. I knew that it was a legal thriller. I knew that it featured a trans woman protagonist. And that was pretty much it when I first grabbed it and when I was first hearing about it.
Yeah, I think essentially the same. I mean that, and I knew that it was a series.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. I think I grabbed it because we knew she was coming for the resource fair. So I was like, oh, I want to read this because of course you want to read the works that an author did. So yeah, I didn't know much about it at all.
Yeah.
Yes. So how did the book make you feel, and what emotions did it evoke?
Well, okay. One thing I think it made me feel really excited because it's set in Jersey.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I
great.
just realized, I was like, oh, as I started reading, I'm like, this. I love to read something that's set in Jersey.
And this one is actually specifically set in Ocean County too,
Yeah,
which
wasn't
is
that cool?
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
No, me neither. And then then I get very wait a minute. Does she really know Ocean County? Are we really
she does. That's part
in
of
the
why,
right location? But
yeah,
correct,
that's part of why one of our committee members who reached out and is actually responsible for reaching out to Robyn and her publisher and everything, originally was like, hey, what if we got this author? Like, she's from Ocean County and is specifically an author who writes about the trans experience and in our own communal area, and how important that is. So that was definitely one of the original factors for why our committee member reached out.
Yeah. And feelings. I mean, it was a good book. Like, it made me feel. I was excited at parts, and I was nervous for the characters. So yeah, a lot of different emotions.
Well,
Go ahead.
I will say I loved it. I thought it was really it was one of the ones that keeps you at the edge of your seat. I am kind of like a mystery fan. I haven't done legal thrillers a ton, but I've watched legal thriller type TV shows, and I've read a lot of mystery books and thriller style books, so this was very still in my wheelhouse. And so it did a really good job of laying out kind of the mystery aspect while also really making you get to know the characters, which I loved. I ended up feeling connected to all of them, and I felt certain things when some of the side characters even died, and I was very invested in Erin's story, in Sharice's story, in Swish's story also. But I will say one of the emotions that it did evoke in me, which this was purposeful from Robyn, I believe, is frustration. There was a lot of, because one of the great things that Robyn does is she doesn't just stay in Erin's perspective. Erin's is the main, but you see from a lot of people's perspectives, and not only do you see Erin dealing with transphobia, but you get to be sometimes in the minds of the transphobic people. And so it was definitely something where you saw and you could really feel all of the frustration and the day-to-day that Erin kind of has to put up with. And it, as a reader, I flinched several times with how some people interacted with her or spoke about her when she wasn't there. But that's purposeful. That's what is supposed to be happening when people talk about trans people, trans women specifically like that.
Yeah, it definitely made you feel lots of things. What about you, Amy?
That's true. I mean, I think other than what you two already said, like, I guess we'll file this under emotions. I thought it was interesting in a good way, like, when Erin started, I don't want to give, like, spoilers, but started questioning, like, what gender she was attracted to and stuff.
Yes.
It, you know.
No, I think that's definitely something
like,
we can
I
discuss
like
in
this.
here. That's
Okay.
a big part of the whole series.
For sure.
So
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's one of the things that is fascinating. I know speaks to many of us in terms of figuring ourselves out later in life.
Yes, absolutely.
Like me.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. I'm
Yes.
like, oh, well, right, and to like be like, oh, well, I think she was like, I'm transgender, but
I've always liked women.
Yes,
And she,
yes.
I will say, she put a lot of stock in her relationship with Lauren, and some of this goes into some of the later books, but it's something that she discusses throughout them, that when she fell in love with Lauren, she thought that she could convince herself to live as a man and be happy enough doing so because of how much she did love Lauren. And so she's always been attracted to women. She's always known, and that was such a root aspect of her, that she even thought she could deny her own gender identity because she knew that was such a root aspect of her, that she did love women and had these feelings specifically for her wife. But then she gets to go on kind of a journey of self-exploration now that she gets to be herself and live authentically as herself and see the different facets of what she can be interested in life and who she can be attracted to.
I really enjoyed that.
We didn't even try. I don't even know if we had it as a question, like just a basic, like, what did you think of the book? Like, I feel like we should.
I think it was great.
Okay.
I think
it'll come out in our discussion. But
that's true. But I'm like, I didn't even have that as like. I mean, I did. I agree.
I enjoyed
think
it.
Was right. Yeah. It was, and I think as a legal thriller that I don't typically read, I was like, this is great.
Same.
It was right. I was like, oh, I enjoyed it. It was a fast.
It's a great intro to the genre.
It is a great intro to the genre.
That's true. I already have the second book on hold. So.
Yes.
I read. Yeah, exactly.
I'm halfway through the third. I know you just started the third, Diane.
Just started the third. Yes. Yeah.
They've all been very good, and I'm actively excited every time I start one, and I get to where I don't want to. I listen to them, so I get to where I don't want to turn it off.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
So By Way of Sorrow is the title. What did you guys think of the title, like in relation to the book? Did you feel like it connected to the story,
I think it did, because I think that sorrow is such a deep aspect of the book, and there's so much, not to give too much spoilers, but especially in this first one, I felt like, oh my gosh, do they even have a way out of this? The people in power have so much power and are getting away with so much and are hurting so many people. And you're seeing these, kind of like lower profile defense attorneys trying to go up against these mammoth presences who are filled with bigotry and hatred, both not just transphobia, but racism. And it was hard trying to determine how they could get out happily in any way. And I don't know that it's necessarily happy the way it goes to, without giving too much away. But I really appreciated kind of the exploration that was happening there for how sorrowful it is having to go up against those types of things, where you don't have a lot of other options.
Yeah.
So, what was the most challenging or difficult part of the book for you to read or understand, and how did you overcome it? My most challenging part is something that doesn't go away after the first one. I will say it's a thread, and this is a challenging aspect for me, I think, as a person. So seeing it depicted, I always get very defensive on Erin's behalf, which is her mother is a very accepting person. Her mother is very loving, wants to do right by her. You know, she took a little bit of time to get to where she understood what was going on, but she stood by her daughter. Erin's father, on the other hand, that one is a struggle for me, and I'm constantly, and then this is my personal, like, I wish that her mother would divorce him. I wish that she would put her foot down. I wish that we would stop excusing him and giving him more time. But that's one of the things that I think Robyn tries to develop, is the idea of you can't just write people off because they're struggling, or because they may actually have hate in their souls. But if they are a loved one, and again, this is something that for me, I'm very like of the no nonsense mindset. But it's very clear that in the story, Robyn is trying to say this relationship, her father is more important to Erin in the long term, and she really wants that relationship. And so seeing her have to, which everything else she's putting up with in her life, and having that from her own family in such a kind of vitriolic way, that was a struggle for me, and for me going through the series to be able to overcome and appreciate the relationship building with the character, because I am just so like, oh, I can't believe he's still struggling with this, and he's still acting like this towards her. So that's probably my biggest my most challenging aspect of the book.
Yeah, that's interesting you said that you want the mother to just divorce him, but to like cut it off, but I didn't even think that during it, but I think, you know, just like in our personal life, there are some people that I know have different views than me, and they're still my family, you know, but so that the struggle with her family was hard, but I found what was harder was like when they got a different judge. And the first judge seemed gender affirming. And then the second judge was like, oh my gosh, and like very, very like harsh about like using the wrong pronouns and for
everyone,
for everyone, right? For Erin and for Charisse, you know, so like that was like, oh man, so that I felt was harder to listen to, but I feel like it's important because it happens. So it's important for us to see, like, it's not just a fluffy novel where everything is, you know, these are real things. And I don't know if we mentioned that this book is set in Ocean County. Did we say that? Okay, I didn't remember. So like that was interesting that the first book is set in Ocean County, where we are from. So yeah, that was really, it's true to life. Like, this is what can happen, you know.
Yes, and when people abuse their power, when you have these sorts of situations, because you know, you start out with this judge who you're like, okay, well, this judge seems even tempered, and like they're going to maybe listen and judge things fairly and be open-minded, even if it was clear they didn't really understand a lot of the realities of being transgender, but seeing how easily that judge just got pushed aside and then never, you know, it was definitely hard to kind of stomach. Seeing how easy it is for people to put that negativity and hatred into power over someone specifically.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, all of that, the judge, all of the people in power that were against them was probably the most difficult thing for me to stomach, even though I'm like, okay, this happens though, like you said.
And again, this is taking place in the early 2000s. There was a lot less information and knowledge in general for the world, so that's depicted too with a lot of the people who are the friends and the allies. They're saying things that, you know, at this point in time you would be like, oh, why would you say that? Or you're cringing, or you're, you're feeling upset on Erin's or Charisse's behalf.
Yeah.
But Robyn is depicting a very specific period of time and a very specific lack of knowledge, and also again she is trying to, I think, throughout this entire series, be educating people and be welcoming and opening and say, look, you might not know things and you might say the wrong things, but if you are willing to learn and to shift and to start treating people with the respect that they deserve because you respect people in general, you can still have these positive and productive relationships with the LGBT community in general.
Right. Yeah. No, I think I agree. Like through the whole book, there's education. Like in the in all of the pages of the book, I felt like there was so much transgender knowledge that was.
And also the aspect of bisexuality.
Yeah.
That's again something that is explored through in some of the later books too. But it's a very interesting way that she goes about how we have Erin, who she's very obviously well knowledgeable about LGBT issues in general.
Right.
She's a trans woman. She lived as a lesbian for as long as she could with her wife while her wife stayed until that dissolved. And she's dated women since then. So she's been part of the queer community for a while. But still, sees an attraction to a man, and she's like, well, what does this mean? Does this mean I'm a straight woman now? Like she's struggling with the concept of bisexuality and seeing herself as a different sexual orientation than she had originally thought, or even being able to name it for herself.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, shall I read the next one?
Yeah, sure.
How does the book portray the challenges faced by transgender individuals, especially those who are also Black? And what does it mean to find justice in a system that is not always equitable?
So that's a hard one, right? That's
it
really,
is.
Yes.
But
yes, because Charisse is a Black trans woman, and the intersectionality of the discrimination and bigotry she faces, it's rough. It can't be understated, or overstated. There we go. Other word. There we go. Every single thing in this novel is kind of against her, except for Erin and Swish.
Pretty much.
Right.
Everything that she faces,
And her sister, I guess.
and
Yeah.
but
I'm sorry.
oh no, you're fine.
No, I think it really shows that we already know the justice system is harder on Black people and Black trans women, or it was such a hard blow. But again, it's important to see it,
and especially sex workers.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Even more so. It's and I think it really did a good job of making you see that bigotry and making you kind of question, I think, your own biases and what assumptions you could make about, you see this story and the headlines and it's being portrayed again a certain way by the people in power. They're the ones telling the narrative. They're the ones who are influencing what's going into the papers or what's going on the news media, and which authorities are getting involved, and the way that everything got stacked against her. I think it shows a lot about the challenges that she faces at all of these different levels of her identity. And I know one of the things that she said, she was willing to listen to Erin when she found out she was transgender and could connect with her on that level. But she also very much opened up more in her conversations with Swish as well. And she was very frank with Swish about a lot of things. And you were talking before we started the podcast about one of the quotes.
That there was a point where Swish is Erin's partner, and he used to work for the FBI as a Black man.
Yes.
And he said because he wasn't in the FBI, and he's like, yeah, but it wasn't because I was Black. And I think Charisse says it's always got something to do with being Black. Yes. So Right, I even wrote like that. She said that to him.
Yes.
And
that's something that he internalizes and thinks about. And again, a lot of these things that are character driven stay throughout the series, and that Robyn kind of continues to explore. So if you're reading something in the first book and you're like, that was interesting, but I didn't feel closure. Well, you're not supposed to.
Right,
she is writing more books. There are many books coming.
I do wonder how many books. How many books are
I'm hoping many.
Yes.
I'm really liking it. So
Yeah, me too.
yes. Yeah. It's so great, and it's great every time you get to see kind of a different aspect of the queer community, specifically the New Jersey queer community, throughout a lot of different kind of time periods, because we're getting closer to present day. We're not right there yet or anything.
Right. Well,
yet,
book 2. So this was early 2000s. Book 2, I heard her say 2009.
Yeah.
So you're in book 3. What is that? And it's okay if you don't remember.
I think it's only a year after.
Okay.
I think Erin's. Well, there's something with Erin's living situation.
Okay.
So I believe it's been about a year since her living situation had changed, which had been discussed at the end of book 2. So I think it's been about another year since then.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. The next question I feel like is kind of maybe a little similar, but let's see.
Oh.
How did the book resonate with your own understanding of identity, justice, or the challenges faced by transgender individuals?
On a personal level, I didn't think Cherie should be held accountable for any of that. She was defending herself. She was doing she was doing what she could to get out of a bad situation. And yes, she took. Well, yes, I know she took the money, but what is she? The man tried to kill her.
Right.
So for me, I wanted Charisse to be free, to not have this, and to not suffer, because she lost a lot, even with the outcome of her trial, which we're not going to go too specifically into. She loses a lot of, in terms of her relationships throughout the story, and she's we go back to the title, By Way of Sorrow. She a lot of those losses are going to be sorrow that stays with her forever. And that's not something that can be undone. And her resolution, even with that, I didn't feel was justice. It was the least worst. It was the least worst outcome, I guess, in terms of being realistic about, again, the powers in play, the time period, the knowledge level around everything, the bigotry that she was facing. But it left me disillusioned with the justice system, to say the least, which, I mean, you have to be able to hold those things accountable.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you have something to say? I was just gonna say, on that, not on that specific note, but like when you started talking, I was thinking, like, it's one thing to know the facts about, like, the understanding of what transgender people go through, especially younger ones, but like it's another entirely to be able to put yourself in their shoes. And I think, like, there was one point where Erin goes to, like, the area where Charisse had been working, and, like, I think it was during the day, but she was like, oh, I can't imagine having to be here at night, especially as a younger person. And I was like, that really made me think.
Yeah, that was what I was just literally looking for in
funny.
my book. That's so funny, because I had, like, written, like, how Erin's mother was supportive and Charisse's parents weren't, right?
Yes.
And then, so I went to, like, the section in the book, and I was like, oh, and it's that same thing, and it explains that, like, Erin says, like, I can't even imagine being here as a 16, 17-year-old, like, hooking on the street. And, but again, like, it goes to, like, how parents are pivotal, too, in anyone's journey, right? And, having a supportive mother, Erin, like, as much as she had lots of struggles, she also, like, was able to overcome them or meet them with the support of her mother.
Yes, she also points out a lot of her own privileges that exist, both and she's affluent, she's very well off. She was able to pay for I know facial feminization surgery. Was one of them. She was able to still keep her job, which is not something that a lot of people can say when they come out in any sense, much less are coming out as a different gender identity than the one that's
transitioning,
yes. And she's white. And she has so much more privilege in that and so much more respect, and she is able to, as she puts it, people assume she is a cis white woman when they see her on the street if they don't know her.
Right.
And those are all extreme privileges she has and make it easier for her to meet the challenges.
Yes.
And it's something that I know Robyn specifically has Erin recognizing and seeing and really kind of understanding how again, it goes back to the hand that Charisse has been dealt and how society's treatment of all these different intersectionalities of her identity led her to where society tried to make it so she couldn't succeed. It seemed very much.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. How did the author keep you interested or surprised throughout the story?
Again, I enjoy the Jersey part of it, but not only that, like I think also it wasn't just a legal thing. Like there were parts about the family that we got into, like the family, the nieces and the nephews, and then like the holiday thing, and then there was part about like the attraction to, I think it was the friend's friend, like it was that's who right? Swish's friend, right? Yep. So there was that piece about it, and then there was a legal thing, and then it was like there were so many pieces to this. Really, it's not a giant book, but what is it? It's
but it all
average,
flowed so well.
It did,
too.
It
didn't feel like too much or anything.
No, but I like all the pieces, and they're all like clear. And I listened to the book, but they're all pretty clear. So when a book stays with me after I listen to it, I'm like, oh, that was a good book,
Yeah.
So it was an interesting book.
Oh, definitely. And I will say, Robyn was not afraid to show. I keep going back to the worst of society. So you saw a lot of bad things happen, and a lot of twists and turns happen because again, we got to a point where I was just like, how are we getting out of this alive?
Yeah.
Yes.
How are any of these characters getting out of this alive? Because it seemed for a while like most people were not. And so that definitely kept me interested in what was going on, and I was definitely surprised by the lengths and the horrors that that our person in power was willing to go to throughout the entire journey. And again, that says a lot for society, is like this happens. These things do happen, and there are people like this in power, and
it's true. I mean, look right now, like there's people in power that use their power for evil, and we hope that the scales, mostly people who use them for good, but I think
you can never, and that's the thing, is you don't always know, because again, this person, like the person in the book, is very considered, it seems to be well respected, has a lot of networks, has helped a lot of people, the people that he seems to think are the right kind of people, and put them into more positions of power, and it creates an equitable justice system.
Yep.
So
would you adapt this book into a movie? Who would you cast in the leading roles?
I would love to see this series as a movie.
I would love to see movies, because I think, again, legal thrillers especially really lend themselves well to them and to being series of movies, like any kind of mystery does,
or whatever. As a series, like there's so many things on many of the different streaming channels that I could see it, but I don't. But who would I cast?
I'm so bad at casting people.
I don't think I can. What I will say is I would hope that the casting would be respectful to the identities of the people, because you don't always see that when things are being adapted. So I would like to see a trans woman playing Erin. I would like to see a black man playing Swish. A black trans woman playing Charisse.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So that is something that I would definitely, if it were to ever get it, and I would think that hopefully, if something like that happened, and yay, Robyn writes for it, that it would be something she'd get to have a say in. But I also know that there are authors who are not happy with how their works have been adapted.
Right.
So
But and again, I don't know Robyn Gigl, but I'm like,
I think
she would be like, oh, these are the stipulations, and again, because she's so versed legally, like, you know, so like she would be, but maybe not. I mean, again, if you want your works out there.
Yes, she's an attorney and advocate herself, so a lot of Erin is very much informed probably by her,
It's exciting. I mean, even if I'm like, oh, this will be great. It would be a great series.
It would be so good as a movie series like that. Like, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Or even if it was like TV, if it was like mini series,
right?
Where it was like
so
short, like the short seasons. Each one is just focusing on the different books.
Yeah,
and you get like whatever, like 5 to 8 episodes, whatever it is.
What I wouldn't want to see is it for it to be like, I don't know if you know, like Harlan Coben writes all these New Jersey books.
Oh, yeah.
And many of his books have been adapted and they're set in London. So that I wouldn't want to see.
No, it's got to be set here.
I know. I'm like, it has to be. And even if it's like, even if they don't film it here, but like, it needs to be set in Jersey, you know, like, because like, you can't get a Wawa in London, you know, or something. Yeah. But, so because it's so Jersey.
Yeah. Oh, so did you highlight or bookmark any passages from the book? And if so, did you have a favorite quote and what would you like to share from it?
So I highlighted a lot of things. I mean, I read the book, I listened to the book, and then I had page numbers, so I went and I tabbed the actual book.
She has so many tabs. I know this podcast, so no one can see it, but she has so many tabs.
But I know it's not as colorful as some people's tabs. But there weren't. I don't want to say there's as many quotes. You know, like it's not as quotable as like some other books maybe. Okay, so and then there's a point where her mom uses a slur and she didn't know. It was something she read in the newspaper and Erin was like, oh, please don't use that. You know, it's like using in a very offensive, like the N-word, you know.
Yes.
So that was interesting to me. There are things like that I just learned from this book that I didn't know. Yeah. Did anybody else have any...
Well, okay, so my favorite parts, I know that I've kind of been saying like, oh, I was so frustrated but I loved the nephews so much.
Oh, they were great.
Love that it was so refreshing because, you know, I was saying like it really, a lot of the times you felt so disillusioned with so many aspects of society, but then you see these young kids coming up, you know, they're going to be the next generation, and they're just unwaveringly loving. They're not just accepting; they're affirming in and of themselves. They are like, no, you're our aunt now. You're Erin. We found you. We want you in our lives. We love you. Like, this isn't a question. This isn't something that they had to accept or kind of get their heads around. They were.
Yeah. Well, and you say they found her because wasn't it that they had to, like, the brother stopped, so they did have to find her.
They did have to find her, yes. Yes, because when she socially transitioned, her brother stops talking to her for a period of time. Yeah. And it's her nephews who really, it's that next generation, and again, a focus on love and affirmation, and who is able to not only show that to her, but also start to help heal the bond between her and her brother.
Yes.
So, I loved that. I loved every part with the nephews. I was very charmed by them and how they thought emails worked.
Oh, that was hilarious. But yeah, they were great. Yeah. That whole part was great.
Yeah. That made me smile a lot. So there is also some very specific joy.
Yeah. And then there's when Erin like talks to her family, and I think this is the part where she says to her dad, like one of the things I had quoted was, "This is who I've always been. I was born this way. I don't know why." You know, like just very like this is who she is. Right. You know, and
yes.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Would we recommend this book to someone, and why or why not?
So yes, I think again it's a fast legal thriller. And it's a good intro to the genre. It's got a Jersey facts. It's got a lot of information about being transgender in the LGBTQ community.
Yes.
A lot of things to learn.
Yeah.
So much. And I will say, again, it's also just a really good legal thriller. Like, It's a great entry point for the genre. I have not read a lot of legal thrillers in the past, but I've read a lot of thrillers, and I've watched a lot of legal thrillers. And this is a great story. Like, it's a great story. She writes some really fascinating mysteries and cases, and you can see, obviously, her personal knowledge of how that world works come through, and it does such an amazing service to the books. And again, I'm someone who, I put queer media first. So it's something.
You do. That's why I'm laughing.
Well, yeah. Well, it's something I was questioned once, because I said, I don't think I've read anything that wasn't about, like, I don't think I read anything that's been about cis straight people in months at this point. I remember saying that to someone, and they looked at me like I was silly or wacky, and they're like, why? And I was just like, it made me feel like I was doing something wrong, and I was like, well, why? And then I realized, well, why wouldn't I? There was times where I didn't read anything queer because it wasn't available to me, or I didn't know where to find it. And so since then, I've personally decided that, you know what, I'm going to put queer media first, and I put it above pretty much anything that I'm interested in reading. So when I get to see genres like this that I maybe hold off on, like, I like like, again, I like thrillers, I like legal stuff, like, but getting to see them where they're centered around queer characters makes me so much more readily excited to pick them up and put them towards the top of my list. So I love seeing the exploration into all these different genres that we're getting for queer media.
Yeah, I think that I do think, and this, I feel like many times legal thrillers, I feel more males read them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being stereotypical saying that. Right?
I feel like when we,
Right?
I mean, I could be wrong too, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
if that
right?
was the facts.
So I hope that like anyone that picks it up, reads it, and gets what we get from it. I hope that we don't. I hope there wouldn't be people that are, trying to censor it. That would be my fear.
Yes,
of it,
that's true.
Yes, but then I also hope, sometimes you need the people who would go in with that mindset, and then their mindset might be changed.
Yes.
And so, that's what I would like to see too, is it for whoever reads the books. And I think the genre is geared a lot more towards men, but a lot of, you look at the Law and Order
that's
fans, and
that's true.
Very true.
the binging that we do of some of those episodes. But it's just so, it's very great, and it's amazing getting to see it from a woman's perspective, a trans woman's perspective, from the perspective also of where the writer behind that perspective has detailed knowledge of the world that she is writing about.
Oh, sure.
Because obviously writers often have to do a lot of research, and I'm sure she still is, but again, it's something you see clearly, and I felt like I got a larger understanding of a lot of aspects of the court system while reading these books.
Right.
I would say I would recommend this to pretty much everyone.
For sure.
Caveats, if you are someone who is struggling with your gender identity, or if it's something that it's particularly upsetting for you to hear the dead naming, the misgendering, the slurs, it is something that I will say it features features prominently in here. Robyn does not shy away from it.
Right.
She is not trying to shy away from it. This book series is going to educate people, and that can definitely be something that could make you uncomfortable, or make you, if you're in a bad mindset about maybe your gender identity or anything at the time, be aware going into it that it's not going to shy away from those topics. But I'd still, again, recommend it for when you are in at a safer headspace type of thing.
For sure.
I think it's it's probably one of my favorite books of the year so far.
It's a great read. It's
Yeah.
a great read. I agree. And then would you read other books by this author?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to be.
Yeah.
I already have.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of one right now.
Me too. And I wrote a little thing. I said, I will follow her stories up and down the parkway. Like, that's how I feel like, you know, like, because the second one is not set in Ocean County.
No, it is not.
But, you know, like, so that's how I'm like, yes, I'm excited. I don't know where since I didn't really get to the third, so I'm like, I don't know where that one's set. But I'm
I
excited.
know there's
like,
a beach.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then,
like
even
that.
in the second one, they talked a little bit about,
that's
like,
true.
going on either a weekend excursion or like they talk about Bradley Beach in one, or
Yes.
Asbury.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they definitely. She loves our state, is what I could see.
Yes,
But-
and I'm liking getting to kind of go on a tour of it. And
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
definitely, like, even, you know, places outside that she's mentioned outside of Ocean County. Obviously, I've gone to places
Yes.
outside, so I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's always exciting when an author is also kind of like they're kind of a hometown author.
Yeah, you can
They're-
visualize it too.
yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, I can see them running into the Wawa, getting a coffee, and
Yeah.
jumping on the Parkway.
Yeah.
So yeah, excellent. Does anyone have any other thoughts?
Any final thoughts
Final
for
thoughts.
for the books?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, I think we all agree that we're pretty big fans of
Yeah.
Robyn Gigl. And again, I'm super excited to get to meet her
No,
and
me
to get
too.
to buy her books from her in person, because I take out most of my books from the library, but I would like to own these ones, and we're going to get to see her and see if she's able to maybe do some signings.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she will be selling her books at the fair.
Yep.
But yeah, she will be there on October 18th at the Toms River Library for the LGBTQIA plus resource fair. The fair itself starts at 10 a.m. and Robyn is going to be closing us out between 2 to 3 p.m. And she'll also be, she's also going to be taking questions, she said.
I know.
Oh,
Maybe
nice.
she'll be able to tell us what's happening about book 5.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Do
be ready
you
to
know
ask
how
that.
many books it's planned
Yeah,
for?
like if they're in the past, so I'm like, oh, maybe she's got a whole bunch ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, oh, fingers crossed.
Thanks for this audio.
Are we seeing? Yes. Are we going? How much are we seeing of Erin in the future? Is there
Yeah.
also other series she may be
yeah, that's true.
interested
True.
in playing around into? Or yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we should just mention, and I don't know if that her son has a book. Did you guys know that?
No, I
Yes. So honestly, if I read something, if I'm not mistaken, what I read was Robyn Gigl's son was doing an author thing, and that's how she got into it, or involved in it too. I believe that's the story I read.
Interesting.
And so his is in our system, but not in audio.
Okay.
So
okay.
that'll take me a little longer to read, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, he has a book. I don't recall the title.
It's Colin.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a blue cover.
Oh yeah, it says that she returned to writing because she was encouraged to participate in NaNoWriMo.
Yes.
By her son.
Yes.
And yes, so let's see.
Oh, the Ferryman
The Ferryman.
is what
Okay.
his was. So yeah, that was a little. Let me see if it. Oh no, the Ferryman Institute. Ferryman Charlie Dawson doesn't save people. Well, he saves dead people. Somebody has to convince them to move on to the afterlife after all.
Ooh.
Normal.
Just not the living, breathing sort. Serving as a ferryman is causing Charlie to slowly lose his mind, and after 250 years, he's finally run out of the mental duct tape needed to hold himself together. Deemed too valuable by the Ferryman Institute to be let go and too stubborn to just give up on his own, Charlie's pretty much abandoned all hope of escaping his life with his sanity intact. Or he had anyway until he saved 26-year-old Alice Spiegel's life. Charlie never planned on saving her. That sort of thing is strictly forbidden by the Institute, but Alice is alive, and it's the first time he felt right in 200 years. Charlie's not about to lose the only thing living, breathing person he's ever saved without the fight, and he's going to put the entire continued existence of mankind at risk to do it. So,
Not that I need more books to read, but that's intriguing.
That also sounds really good.
yeah. But I thought that was interesting that she got involved because of her child.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, that's
but
cute. And NaNoWriMo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I tried to participate in that a couple times.
I tried to do that once or twice. Didn't succeed.
Robyn, you are stronger than me.
Yeah.
and so yeah. Good
good.
job.
Yeah, again, so yeah, come see Robyn at the fair
Come to
on
the
October
fair.
18th. Robyn, if you ever get to hear this at all, we are very much looking forward to meeting you and having you at our fair
Yep.
to give a wonderful author talk.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to visit the Ocean County Library's website for more podcasts and events. All the titles mentioned in today's episode can be found throughout the Ocean County Library, free with your library card. Until next time, happy reading.